Hello, and thank you for joining me again today on the Finding Hope After Loss podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. You can really help the show reach more loss and infertility families by taking a moment to leave a positive review or rating on Apple or Spotify. You can also check out more information about the episode in the show notes at journeyforjasmine.com. In this episode, Hayley shares her story of going through infertility, multiple IVF rounds, and recurrent miscarriage before facing the stillbirth of her daughter at 20 weeks. She also talks about grief, being diagnosed with antiphospholipid syndrome, and how she continues to honor her baby girl. Hello, everyone. Today I am here with Hayley. Hayley, can you tell us a little about yourself?
Hi, my name's Hayley. I live in Surrey in the UK. I am a nanny, so I look after 3 children, live with my husband and my 2 cats.
That sounds like a busy job.
It's a very busy job, particularly at the moment with the summer holidays. It's a bit crazy, but next week they go back to school, so it's okay.
I bet that's good, right?
Yeah.
So do you mind sharing a little about your loss journey?
Yes. So I was told back in 2020 that I would probably need IVF treatment because I had a septate uterus, which basically means there's an extra, it was almost like a partition in my womb, and they removed it and were hoping that that would help me to conceive naturally, but unfortunately it didn't. So it was on to IVF. And we had our first round of IVF in October 22 and got a positive test, which we were thrilled with. We thought, wow, because you hear all these stories about people who have to go through rounds and rounds and rounds, and we thought, wow, it's our first time. So we thought we were really lucky, first time, positive test, all the excitement, and I had a missed miscarriage at 7 weeks, which was devastating. It was Christmas Eve, and I was utterly heartbroken. But we were like, okay, well, we knew this could happen, and we knew it was early, and we still had embryos in the freezer. So very quickly went on to a second round, got a negative test. Went on to a third round, got a positive test. Again, very tentatively at this point. I couldn't get excited by that point because I'd already lost one. But we got past 7 weeks. But then I had miscarried at 8 weeks. So then that was devastating because that was on my husband's birthday. So it always seems to be on big occasions. Not to say that it would be any easier if it wasn't, but
It adds that layer to it.
Yeah, exactly. So we decided, and we were getting married the following month. So we were like, okay, focus on the wedding, we'll get married, we'll take a year out and we'll try again. And at that point, I went to the IVF clinic as well and said, look, are there any other tests that you can do on me to see if they put you through quite a lot when you first go for IVF. I don't know what it's like in the US, but so many tests get done before you get referred to the IVF clinic here. And he basically just turned me down and said, you're looking for something to be wrong when there's probably nothing. And I was like, that seems a bit strange, but okay. The only thing he would allow me to do was, he said on the next round, he would allow me to put in 2 embryos rather than 1, which I went with. Just thought, okay, fine. We had that transfer done in October last year and positive test again, and both embryos implanted. So it was twins. Saw both heartbeats at 6 weeks. At 7 weeks, only 1 heartbeat. So he had vanishing twin syndrome. But the other baby was really strong. No problems. Kept going, and we got past 8 weeks and thought, okay, that's fine. And we got past 12 weeks and great, we've started telling everyone. And we found out she was a girl. and we named her Skylar Hope.
It's a beautiful name.
Thank you. It was 3 days before her viability scan at 20 weeks that I realised she'd stopped moving. So on the 3rd of March, the day that I should have had my 20-week scan, I gave birth to Skylar, and she was born sleeping. And she was tiny, absolutely tiny, beautiful, just looked exactly like her daddy. And yeah, and now that's where we're at.
Did they give you a reason why you lost her?
She went for a postmortem and they couldn't find anything wrong with her. However, what they did find, and this is why I mentioned the asking for tests previously, because I've got a real chip on my shoulder about it all. They took some blood from me and they discovered that I have an autoimmune disease called antiphospholipid syndrome. And one of the key symptoms is multiple miscarriage. Now, if I had got that test when I'd asked for it, I can't help but wonder if things would be different. But I try not to focus on that.
Although, I mean, I understand that's hard. I mean, we always go down that what if road. And
Yeah,
I mean, and that's so frustrating that the doctors wouldn't. I mean, how hard is it to do a blood test?
I know.
It's not,
That was what I couldn't quite get my head around. I was like, well, it's not like I've developed this. It's an autoimmune disease. I was born with it. I'm 37 and I'm only just finding out that this is what I have and this is a potential cause for all the heartache that I've been through. So,
and I have before I was, really integrated into the loss community and everything, I didn't realize how many people have those blood clotting disorders. Like they're
yeah,
not something that typically comes up, like you said, until you're having multiple losses. And then people are like, oh, well, maybe we need to look into that.
yeah. No, it was crazy. Like, I hadn't even heard of it before. So originally they said, oh, potentially lupus, which my mum is a nurse and my sister's a nurse, so I've heard of lupus, but I've only heard of like the severe cases of lupus. So I kind of thought, oh God, like what is this? But it's not lupus, it's APS, and it's something that I've done a bit of research on, but not a lot because I'm not quite in that place yet.
Yeah, no,
So
that's understandable. And sometimes, that Google rabbit hole can be
it's
both good and bad.
not a good idea for me right now.
Sometimes I end up on like weird tangents and I'm like, why did I let myself do
Yeah,
this? Because now I'm like reading all the worst case things and
yeah, and that was one of the things that so I now have a new consultant who is wonderful, I have to say, and she, as soon as she said, "This is what you have," she said, "I don't know you that well, but I know you well enough to know that you shouldn't be going on Google." And I was like, "Okay, I'll go with it. I'll trust you."
so if you were going to try to get pregnant again, would they have a plan in place for you to help treat that?
Yes, so it would be on blood thinning injections. So she's basically said to me that if I were to find myself pregnant again, not to go to my GP, just go straight to her at the hospital, and she'd give me the injection straight away, and they'd be every day for the whole pregnancy. I don't know if that will happen. I don't know if it would help, but that is the plan if it should happen.
I mean, I guess it's good to know that if that is something you decide that there are options that can help with that and you're not just kind of left out there hanging on
Yeah,
your own.
exactly. Because that's where I've been before. I don't like. I think that's what I struggle with the most is that I feel like I've kind of been let down, like just to left to my own devices when actually there could have been something that could have been done.
Do you feel like I mean, I know obviously some of the things you've described, like some of the medical care wasn't that great, but did you have like good medical care during your loss, or was it also?
Honestly, the hospital I gave birth to Skylar in, I could not fault. They were amazing. They helped me so much, and my husband. We had our own private room. We did. If there was anyone out in the corridors, they didn't let us out of the room. They wouldn't let us see the other pregnant women or the other babies. They made sure that the corridors were clear. My midwife, Lily, found a tiny little dress for Skylar and a hat, and she did her handprints and her footprints, and they put me in touch with charities that we're now raising money for, and they even check in now. So it's 6 months, and I still get a text every now and again saying, "How are you?" And even down to little things like, you know, straight after Skylar was born, I had so many questions about what happened, because she got taken to a hospital in London for her post-mortem. So every day I was texting the midwife saying, is she there? Like, have you heard anything? And they were very, very patient with me. But even tiny little things like, in the room, they had a box of books that I could read to Skylar. And there was one book that I read, and inside it there was a page, and it had a ladybird on it, and it says, if a ladybird lands on you, or a ladybug lands on you, it's me coming to say hello. And that stuck with me. But about 8 weeks after Skylar was born, I just woke up in the middle of the night and was like, I don't know the name of the book, and I want the book. I want to buy it. I want to put it with her things. And I texted them this rambling message about, it's one page. It might not even be a whole page. And it turns out it was just a sentence. And Lily went and found it, and she texted me the name of the book, and now it's on my bedside table. So
That
I
is
have,
amazing.
yeah. So I honestly can't, the care that I have had from them was amazing.
That makes me tear up because I mean, you don't see providers like that, so often. And I know a lot of times people talk more about the bad experiences than the good
Yeah.
experiences. So I think it's really good when we do
No,
get to hear those.
I think, especially for me, I mean, like I said before, my mum and my sister work for the NHS, and they do get a lot of criticism, but you have to give credit where credit's due. And I even said to them at the time, like, I've sent flowers to the nurses, I've stayed in contact with them. I cannot fault them, and I cannot praise them enough, because that is a really bad part of your job if you're a midwife, to have to help someone go through that, and nothing is too much for them.
Yeah, the hospital that we delivered Jasmine at, I'll never forget those nurses. They were amazing. And, it's like they make it the best experience that it can possibly be in such a
Yeah.
terrible thing. But I mean, I've always said the nurses are more important than the doctors.
Oh,
I
for
think
sure.
they.
I absolutely agree. I totally agree.
So, did you also feel you got good support from your family and friends?
Yeah, I mean, my family rallied round completely. They were heartbroken. We're very close. It's me, my mum and dad, and I've got a little sister. She's only 3 years younger than me. She'll always be my little sister. They, my mum and dad came straight up. Justin, my husband, his mum came and sat with us straight away, and his dad lives over in Germany, and he came over as well. They were all amazing. And I've got a little nephew who is 7, who is trying to wrap his head around Skylar not being here. But in a way, it's quite nice, because he asks all the questions that I want people to ask. Because at the end of the day, I'm a new mum, and I want to show off my baby, and I want to talk about my baby. But the only person who really asks all the questions is this little 7-year-old boy. And there's no malice, there's no like, it's not been him being nasty or trying to be cruel. It's pure like, what does she look like? Can I see a picture? And that's all the stuff that we all look forward to when we're pregnant. And I get that from him. So that's quite nice.
I love that. I know I feel like a lot of people would think, oh my gosh, I can't believe he asked that, or, but we over here, like, I'm so glad he did. Like, nobody ever asked to just see a picture of them or to hear about how they were born or, the
Yeah,
things that, like you said, that we want to talk about.
yeah. Like it is a strange feeling to have a baby that's not here, as you know. Like, you wish that they were here more than anything. But when someone mentions their name, or my friends are very good. I've got a tight knit group of friends who will, like, I don't know, if I'm having a bad day and I think, oh, I'm just going to eat a bar of chocolate and I shouldn't eat a bar of chocolate, but I'm going to, they'll say things like, Skylar would want you to be happy. And I'm like, yeah, she would.
Yep, I'm eating the chocolate.
Yeah, I'm having the chocolate. So
So
yeah,
how
my
did
friends
you
were doing really good.
how did you come up with her name?
So actually, you're the first person that's ever asked.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and so right, so I'm a big musical theatre fanatic, and so I think everyone thinks that I came up with her name, but I didn't. So Skylar is in Hamilton. There's the Skylar sisters, and Hamilton's one of my favorite musicals. So everyone just assumes that it was me, but it wasn't. It was Justin that mentioned Skylar. Justin's actually half American, and it's not a name that I had ever heard of before, really, other than in Hamilton. So when he said Skylar, I was like, "Do you realize what you're doing?" I don't even know to this day if he does. And Hope was her middle name, or is her middle name, and because of the journey we've been on, when we originally saw her on the scan, we found out she was a girl. We were just going to call her Hope, but Skylar Hope's got a nice ring to it.
It does, and that's beautiful. And it doesn't hurt that it's part of the the musical as well, right?
I mean, I'm going to go with it.
Does he take credit for the name or does he let you take credit?
No,
Yeah.
he credit for the name. He does.
Yeah.
He does. I do always tell people, if people say who named her, I'll say it was Justin, but no one's ever asked how. So I've
I'm
been dying.
always interested in how people come up with the names because
Yeah.
we spend a lot of time naming our babies and then we don't get to use the name. So
So yeah, no, I think it's important that we put it same as everyone. We put a lot of love and care into naming them, and then we just want to be treated the same.
exactly. So is it hard for you to work with children then after, having your loss?
This time round, it was so after Skylar was born, I had a month off of work, only a month because I am self-employed at the moment, so I don't get any help. And for a good few weeks, I thought I can't do this anymore. But I've done it for 13 years. I've looked after children, and I just thought I can't do this anymore. I just can't. But I went back and looked after some children that I'd previously looked after, and I'd looked after them for many years. And I realized that I can do it and I enjoy doing it. But when they're older, I can't. If I go into a home and there's under 6 month old, I kind of think, oh no, this is not for me. But anything from about a year onwards, I'm okay with.
Yeah, it seems like it's hardest for me when I see children that are the age that like Jasmine should be. But if they're older, then it's like, oh, they were already born.
Yeah,
They're past that.
it's a strange one actually, because the family that I'm with now, the oldest girl, her birthday is the same day as Skylar's,
Oh wow.
but she's 8. So I'm like, all right, it's your birthday first. But it will be interesting on Skylar's first birthday how I handle that, I think.
Do you plan to, I mean, I know it's still a few months off, but do you plan to do anything for her birthday?
we're planning it at the moment. So we've been raising money for a charity that helped us a lot. So they make cooling cots for hospitals, which we were lucky enough to have one in our hospital, but not every hospital has one. We've raised enough money for one, and it's got a plaque with Skylar's name on it. That's been sent up to a hospital in Leeds. And we've nearly reached enough to get a second one. So we've decided that on her first birthday, I'm going to skydive.
Wow.
To try and raise a bit, to try and get the second cot. But I'm going to invite all my friends and family to come and watch said skydive and throw a little birthday party for her at the same time.
Have you ever skydived before?
Nope.
No. That's something that scares me.
Yeah, it's always been on my bucket list. And my mum actually was like, "Oh, you could do a skydive for Skylar." And I was actually, I quite like that. Yeah, let's do it. So that's the aim.
I love that. I mean, that's, it's very unique. And I
So,
do like that it goes along with her name, right?
yeah. So I think that's the plan anyway, but we'll see what happens.
And I like too that it makes it both something fun, and it's not just like a super somber occasion, even though it is something sad.
Yeah. It's something that Justin and I have discussed quite a lot. We've realized, particularly in the last couple of months, we've started doing things just because we can, and not like, things like organizing a skydive or going on a trip for a weekend because we can, because we're living not just for ourselves, but for Skylar. And I think there was a time when I thought that life is never going to be the same, and how do I go on living when this horrible, terrible thing has happened? And everything I do now, I'm doing for my daughter. She's watching, and I need to make her proud, because otherwise, what's the point?
It's the same way I feel too. Everything I do is like it's our way of still parenting them and
Yeah,
still keeping their memory alive because I mean, let's be honest, it's nobody else is doing it. It's pretty much just us that has to do it for them. Other people just have their own things, their own lives that they're doing and
yeah,
it's got to be us, right?
it has to be us, and it is something that particularly when we were doing her funeral, I was very like, everything that they said, "Oh, you could do this for her funeral," I just said yes to, because it was the only thing I could do as her mummy. Like, I carried her into her funeral, I got her dressed for her funeral, I did all the things because I wasn't going to see her after that day. So I had to do everything in my brain. I had to do everything for her while I had the chance to. And now I'm doing everything for her to make her proud.
I love that though. She has such a good mom. She's so loved. And
Okay.
I think they know that. I do think they know how much we love them and how much we, continue to talk about them and remember them. And yeah, because, not a day goes by, 7 years later now, not a day goes by that I don't think about her and
No.
miss her. It's not something as you know that you ever just get over and move on from.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's something that I would want to get over, because I feel like I still have those moments now, I'm sure you do, where you'll be laughing at something and then remember. Do you get that, like that type, oh, I shouldn't
Yeah.
be laughing, like almost guilt? But we have to live for them and remember them, because they
Plus,
don't have.
I don't think they would want us to be sad the rest of our lives. I
No.
really don't.
No.
I try to remind myself of that. Like she wouldn't be happy knowing like we didn't, move forward. Not move on, move forward.
Move forward. Yeah, that's the right way, I think.
It's
Yeah.
such a weird place to be. It's it's like none of us have ever been here before. So we just have to just take it day by day and
True. And I was thinking about it earlier when I was like, because, people say about, oh, you need to get back to normal. Well, this is my normal now.
Mhm.
This is not something that's going to change. This is my life.
I think people expect us to be the person we were, and yeah, we're not.
I'm not that person.
I try to make myself be that person, and I'm like, I'm like, I'm just not.
Oh, see, I don't even try to be that person.
Well, not anymore, I don't, but yeah.
I don't even try to be that person. Like I have a very low tolerance for drama and nonsense, and I just think, well, no, there's more important stuff. Just focus on the good.
It really does make you kind of reevaluate your priorities in life and things that you thought were so important before. It's just like, you know what? It doesn't even matter anymore.
No,
It
it
just
does.
completely
Like,
changes.
yeah, everything changes, and it's just you can't go back. You'd love to. We'd all love to, but we can't, and that's the sad thing about it all.
Before you went through your infertility and losses, did you really know anybody else who had gone through it?
Yeah, I actually have a very good friend who I went to university with, and she was very open about having IVF and miscarriages, and she had quite a few rounds of IVF. I'm not sure how many, but she now has her baby girl. She was born in January 24.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she went through a lot, but now she has her baby girl, and she's a beautiful little thing as well. Lovely girl. But then, so I had her to speak to when I was going through IVF and when I had miscarriages. She was great. Always, she always said to me, I can't say anything. So you just let everything out and I'll know that, and just know that everything you're saying is okay. She never made me feel bad for hating life or being mad at the world. She was just there to listen, and she was great.
That's amazing. That's what we need. That's like what everybody needs to do. Just don't tell me don't feel that way or make me feel
No,
guilty for feeling something. Just listen and be like, you know what? It does suck. I'm
it
sorry.
does suck. Yeah, and I think that was the thing. I think that was even after my first loss. I One of the sentences that I hated and I still hate now is any sentence that starts with at least. Deal with
Yeah,
that.
no, never.
Never. If your sentence starts with at least, then don't say it to me.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where well, I guess people get it because it's the things that you just kind of grow up hearing, and so you
Yeah,
think they're comforting, but then when you've been on the other side of it, you're like, oh my gosh, no, I'm so sorry I said that to people. Like you obviously didn't know, but like,
yeah, but no, it's she was, and also because she went through it for years before I went through it. So every time I kind of, even when I had questions that I didn't want to ask the doctors or nurses, I said, "Can you help me? Have you got a minute?"
I think it's
She,
great to have somebody like that though. Because I mean, I went through fertility treatment. We didn't go through IVF, but we did other fertility treatment,
Mhm.
and I had to learn how to give myself shots, and that was not that was not fun. Someone over here who used to pass out at getting their blood taken, so I've
Yeah,
come a long way.
yeah. I don't even blink now. I'm like, okay.
It's like, all right, just do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think, but people don't realize, I mean, just like we talked about with loss, with, going through IVF and infertility and things, like they're not things that we know like we've never been through it before. So we don't know what to do. We don't know what questions to ask sometimes. We don't know
Yeah.
anything.
Well, because we don't get taught about it as well, and I think that's something that should definitely change. We just get told, grow up, you get married, you have babies, everything's fine. You don't get told all the other stuff. You might need help to have babies, or you might lose a baby. You don't get any of that. So
No,
when it happens to you, it kind of comes at you like a truck.
that's the perfect way to describe it. You just kind of sit there in shock, like
Yeah.
like
What?
what happened? What do I do? How do I
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
And
You
they
know?
throw so much information at you as well. They're like, so you've got this injection that you have to take in the morning, and then you take this tablet at this time, and then there's this injection, which is completely different to the first injection. I'm like, okay.
Like, can you just come like live with me for a couple weeks and help
Sounds
me out
like
with
it.
this? I know. And I'm definitely one of those people who, feels like, some of those shots have to be, I think, at the same time. And so, I'd be like, all right, it has to be the exact same minute, because that's just me.
Yeah. Oh, do you know, actually, the funniest story, when we did our first egg collection, but with the trigger shot, that you have to take the trigger shot at the exact time that they tell you, 36 hours before your egg collection. And me and my best friend were going to a drag show that the night that I had to take this injection. So I had to try and like discreetly sneak an injection with a needle past all these security guards. And then whilst these drag queens were performing, like keep checking my watch, go, right, okay, right now I have to go. And then run into the bathroom and while I'm listening to them singing and dancing and doing this shot. And I was like, this will be a story at some point.
And sometimes you just look back on the things you've been through and you're like, is this my life?
I don't know
You
what
know?
happened.
This
I
is
did
not what I pictured when I was trying to start a family.
I did say to Justin at the time, I was like, if we get a baby out of this round, we will have to name it after one of the drag queens. And he was like, absolutely not.
I love it. It's like, no, it'll just be a funny story, but I'm
Yeah.
good with the names, right?
No, it's crazy. I do look back now and think, oh, that was a lot.
I remember one of the times that I had a miscarriage and it was one of those weird things where my levels were dropping, but then they started rising again. So they said, well, it could be ectopic or it could be just like retained tissue or something. So basically they had to give me the methotrexate shot. And then, a few hours later, because I had already had this planned, I was on a plane to go see my husband who was away working. And I'm just like, I just had like a big shot in my butt. And now I'm just flying over here like any other day, trying to not cry because I
But
just
yeah,
lost my baby. It was,
it's crazy. And I find myself like walking like almost in a daze, particularly after like the first few days after you kind of, and especially after Skylar was born, even now things happen and I get almost like flashbacks to things and I have to say to Justin, did that happen or am I making that up? Or like, or did the doctor say this? And he's like, no. Like he has to fill in the blanks almost. I do remember bumping into someone for the first time in the street after Skylar was born, and everybody knew what had happened because I work in a village that is very close knit. Everybody knows everyone. And I was walking, and I'm really not a morning person at all. Like if I haven't had a coffee, just don't speak to me. There's no point. And I hadn't had a coffee, but I was walking up through the high street to go and get one, and there was two people walking towards me who I knew, but I was dazed. Like I'd just been through this horrific thing, and it was early in the morning, and so they were shouting my name, and I didn't hear them, and then they shouted again, and then they kind of grabbed hold of my shoulders and pulled me in for a hug, and I was like, oh, okay, oh, yeah, hi, how are you? And they went, are you having a particularly bad day because you don't look good? And I was like, thanks, appreciate it. I was fine, just needed a coffee.
it's like, but now you're telling me I look terrible. So cool.
Yeah,
Made your
thanks.
day there.
Now I'm just going to go home and hide under a blanket and hope for the best for the rest of the day.
People have a way of somehow coming out on your worst days and making it just,
Always.
it's like I just need space and I just need, I don't know what I need, but this is not it.
Just, I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Just, what do you need today? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know. I need this to not be real.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Yeah. So many times have I said that too.
Mm.
So did you find like the loss community quickly after your loss, or did it take you a little bit?
I found it very quickly, only because I document my IVF on Instagram. So I was able to meet a lot of women and men through that. And then obviously when we found that we got past the 12 weeks, we announced that we were pregnant because we were so excited. And it was New Year. And we were like, what a great way to start the new year by telling everyone we were pregnant. So everybody on my Instagram knew, and all my friends and family knew. So when we then had to do the announcement that she had been born, Instagram Lost Mamas rallied. They've been great. They've been amazing. So
They are the best.
they really are. It's the worst club, but best members.
Absolutely.
They, I've never met most of these women, and I've got a WhatsApp group with some of them. We all send each other's babies birthday cards on their birthdays.
I love that.
Yeah. So they did. Yeah, the support has been amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely, like you said, one of those clubs that none of us ever want to be part of and never want anybody else to have to be part of either.
No,
But yeah, it's nobody understands you like another lost parent.
no, exactly. And when you find other people who understand you, you have to hold on to them.
Yeah.
So,
It is weird to think about. I mean, the internet's really great for stuff like that, that you can talk to people like now, like talk to people across the world and
yeah,
it like people that you would probably never interact with otherwise. And you get to just talk to all these people that have been through the same thing that you have.
yeah, and but also finding out things like that you don't know the answers to, and you're like, oh, did this happen to you after you gave birth, or did the doctor say this, or how long did it take for a post-mortem to come back, or all the things that you never want to know the answers to, but you know that there are other people out there that have them. Sometimes it's easier to reach out on an Instagram story than it is to call the hospital where a panic attack will happen.
Plus, I feel like people who have been through it will give you better answers. The hospital just gives you the standard. Oh, it can take anywhere from whatever
Yeah,
to whatever weeks, and call if you don't get anything. It's like, okay, but this is my baby you're talking about.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
let's not be so like clinical about it, please.
Yeah, no, to be fair, any questions that I had for my hospital, they would have answered straight away anyway. But it was me that didn't want to ask them. So even because we had to go back into the hospital to get her post-mortem results, and even just going back in, I completely fell apart. But they were there. The midwife didn't need to be in that appointment, but they knew I was coming. So they met me outside the hospital and walked me straight through into the consultant's room so that I didn't have to sit in the waiting room.
Oh, I love that. It seems like they are very considerate of.
Yeah, I've got to go back actually in October because I had a hysteroscopy done a few weeks ago, and I need to get the results of that, which sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Because I had it done in August and I have to wait till October.
It's
But
like, can you just call me with this? Like, do
yeah.
I need to come in for this?
Well, this is my thing is that I'm like, so this is the third hysteroscopy I've had. I've never had a follow up with it ever.
Oh,
Yeah. And now I have to have a follow up. And I'm like, okay, is it because I have a new consultant or is it because you found something? And why do I have to wait 3 months?
that is weird. Like, I don't think the results take 3 months to somehow calculate?
Look, you've either found something or you haven't. Like, just ring me.
Hopefully it's just because it's a new consultant. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. She's very good. So that's what I'm going to go with.
Are there any other like resources or anything that you found particularly helpful after your losses or while going through infertility? Any?
I just think just talking, I mean, I've been in therapy since the first loss. I've been in therapy, and I think I think I'll be in therapy forever. because of it. I love my therapist. She's amazing. Doesn't take any nonsense. And because I'm very quick to laugh things off. Like if I don't want to talk about something, I'll just make a little sarcastic comment and laugh it off and change the subject. But she doesn't let me do that. But actually, you know, she comes up with things like, I write letters to Skylar. That was her idea. And I think that's quite a good resource, if you will, just having a therapist that is going to listen and talking about the things that everyone else feels uncomfortable with is golden.
I find talking about things helps too. I've done the same thing. You know, I try to like laugh it off as well. Like, okay, like let's talk about something else. I don't want to talk about that.
But yeah, I think, I mean, even just talking to you now, feels very therapeutic. Like, I just think find your people and keep hold of them. Because the people who care and the people who know you want to help you and support you. And the people who have been through it know exactly how you feel.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share about or add?
I don't know. Is there anything you want me to?
I mean, just if there's anything else that, you know, any advice you want to leave, or I mean, you kind of already gave some, or just any, you know, if you want to connect with people or just anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'll always connect with people. Like I say, I've got my Instagram page, which I will talk. You know, if anyone asks me a question, I'm a very open book. Might take me a little while to get back to you, but I will get back to you. And I think the only advice really that I feel quite strongly about is just to advocate for yourself, because you know your body, you know when something doesn't feel right. And I think one of the things I don't regret much, but I do regret not pushing for more tests when I think I should have asked for a different doctor and a second opinion. And my friend actually who had that I was telling you about before uses the expression that only a squeaky gate gets oiled. So you make a noise, and they'll get you.
I mean, that is true, you know.
Stay silent and they won't.
I think it's hard for a lot of us, myself included, to advocate for ourselves,
Yeah,
especially before we've ever had to really do it like that
yeah,
before.
exactly. But I'm very much, even my friends now, when they've got something not to do with fertility, but if there's something that they're going through, I'm like, well, we'll go together. We'll go to the doctors together. I'll ask the questions.
See, I just need somebody like that. Just come with me and ask it all. My other problem too is I'll have questions and then I go and then I just instantly forget everything that I wanted to
I
ask
have,
or
yeah,
say.
I've had to start writing things down. I
Yeah.
make a list the night before. What do I need to ask? And then I'll say to Justin as well, remember, if I forget to say this, can you say it, please? And he's got the worst memory. So he's like, how am I meant to remember?
It's like if you don't, we have no hope. No.
Yeah, pretty much. But I will say he was really good because, like I say, I was terrified of needles and stuff in the beginning. And he just took it, just was like, okay, right, I'll do it. It's fine. I'll do it.
Wow.
He's been a
Yeah.
rock.
I tried to have my husband do one and he was more scared than me. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna do it myself.
No,
He didn't want to
just
hurt me. And I'm like, just do it. Come on. Like,
oh, see, I would have liked that. Justin was very much like, just stay still. Just stay still. Come here. Fine. I'd be like, can I have an ice pack? He's like, no, you don't need an ice pack. Just come here.
like, but it might hurt. I guess there's nothing like, you know, having to go through fertility treatment and jab yourself with needles to get over the fear of needles.
Well, yeah, that. And also all the nurses, and I've got quite a few tattoos on my arms. The nurses were like, you have tattoos, you'll be fine. I'm like, it's very different. It's different having a tattoo to stabbing yourself with a needle.
Right. Plus the weight of what you're doing, like with the needle. Like, I mean, it's kind of
I have a choice to have it with it. Like a tattoo is a choice. IVF is a choice, but it's a big choice.
yeah, but it's like not like something anyone would ever choose to do if they didn't have to. I mean,
No, exactly.
obviously.
Wake up one day and go, oh, I know.
You know what sounds like fun today? Spending lots of money and, well, I guess I don't know. It's probably covered more over there than it is here, but oh no, it's not.
It depends on your county. It's like a postcode lottery. So we got a bit of funding, but we had to fund a lot of it ourselves.
Yeah, it's just so unfair that it's so expensive for so many people.
Yeah.
Because again, nobody wanted to go through it. Everybody, trust me, everybody would rather just do it the traditional way and not have to try and just have a baby, but it doesn't work like that.
It's not. But yeah, it's something that we have done, and we did say that the last transfer was the last time we were going to do IVF. So I'm very much of that mindset of I can't do it again. So now it's time to explore other things when we're ready to not yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been 6 months, so I completely
Exactly.
understand that.
Not yet. Everyone's like, oh, but you could get pregnant naturally. I'm like, I could. I don't.
Like, do you understand what I just went through?
Yeah, like, no. Like, it scares me because I was actually saying this to my therapist the other day. I was like, we've had a loss at 7 weeks, we've had a loss at 8 weeks. At 12 weeks, we then started to breathe, but then we had a loss at 20 weeks. So when do you go, oh, everything's going to be okay?
Yeah, I've been through multiple pregnancies after loss, and my answer was never. I was terrified the entire time.
Yeah.
And then obviously one of those pregnancies after loss, I still had a loss at 32 weeks. So, it's just
it's not something to jump straight back into, and I will be taking my time with it.
so if people were wanting to connect with you, do you want to give your Instagram account?
So it's Hope for a Rainbow, but it's like the number 4.
Okay.
Hope for a Rainbow.
I like that though. It's a nice name.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story today.
Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Hayley, for sharing your story with us. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. If you like the show, please leave a positive review or rating on Apple or Spotify. It only takes a moment and really helps the show reach more loss and infertility families. Thank you so much for tuning in, and remember, we are all in this together.